Hi everyone. Several years back, I made some little matchbook notepads, and I was using at the time some of the ink colors for Stampin' Up, and I wanted to share those with you because I was taking a look at them and I thought of a plan to kind of upgrade them just a little bit so that we can really make use of those extra little paper pads, especially the 6x6s that you have laying around. And we're going to upgrade this. But in the past, I made these little matchbook notepads, and they had little post-it notes in it. And we're going to make it even easier than that. So stick around and I'll show you the new plan for these matchbooks. We're going to make use of our cardstock and some designer paper and make it really easy with just copy paper. And so my vision for this, I'm going to make lots of these throughout the year, have them on hand, keep them in my bag, and when I run upon some friends, give these away. And they can use these to make little quick notes. These little notepads, you can tear out. I've stapled them, and so tear out, yeah, it's not the perfect look of a paper, but when you just need a little scratch sheet of paper, this will be great, and you can keep it in your purse, that sort of thing. So you can decorate these as much as you want or as little as you want. I didn't want to do a lot because, again, they're in your bag, and so I did add this paper and decorative paper along the bottom, and I'm going to give you the reasoning for that as we put it all together. So first of all, you're going to need a strip of cardstock. Now you could use decorative paper right off. I just like the weight of cardstock. Okay, so we've got our 8.5 by 2 3/4 sheet of paper, and we're just going to do 2 scores, one at 1.5. And then we're going to do one at 5 5/8. So 5 5/8. And this scoring is just a little bit different from that original because it was using the post-it note. I needed a thickness right there. Here, we're just using paper. So we're just going to do the easy 2-fold and then tuck our little paper in and have a nice closure. I've taken 10 sheets of copy paper, and some are even scraps. I think that's fun to use. It's a great way to use our scraps that we've, as long as you don't mind people seeing what you've printed on the other side. And I've put those together. I've cut these down to 2 5/8 by 3 5/8, and that's going to fit really nicely in here. So I just tap those down to bring them all together at the bottom or at the top, whichever. I guess it would look better if they looked better what we see. And I'm almost bringing them to the top. I want a lot of the paper to be used. You'll see there's just about this much left. I'm going to fold this over, and what I'm going to use is my stapler. Now you can see from the side there, I want to make sure I'm going to staple it right about in the middle. There are different ways you could do this. You may want to use a brad or something like that. I'm just going to use a staple, and that's why I decided to use the decorative paper, and I added a little ribbon on this one around the edge because that's going to cover up our staple. And our dimension being 2 3/4 inches wide, we're going to be able to use a 6 by 6 1-inch strip from, like a 6x6 pad. So right now, you've got your little matchbook right there with your paper inside, but let's decorate this one up a little bit. I've got this cute little paper pad from Jen Hadfield. It's called Patio Party. I love all the little flowers, lemons, bright colors. I'm ready. We haven't even gotten into the winter yet, but I'm already looking forward to some spring. So that's our paper pad we're going to use. I think for this particular one, I am going to use the butterflies around the bottom. I have the 1-inch strip, 6 inches across, 6 inches in length, 1 inch wide, and we're going to just wrap this around. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind here with our paper pad, we don't want to go all the way up to the top because then that's going to affect our closure here. We want to cover the staple, but yet we need to leave a little bit of a strip that will allow for our tuck spot to work. So I'm just holding this in place here and wrapping it around, and you should have just a little bit of an overlap, and that's because we have that 2 3/4 width of this. So to do that, I am going to use a little bit of glue. I've got the glue here now. And again, we're just covering up our staple. It could go down as far as you wanted to. We just really want to be careful with how far up we bring that. Line up those ends and just press that down, and we will have that glued down in place. At the beginning of this project, I'm going to keep these simple because I want to be able to make several of these and have these on hand to give to friends. I have taken a 2.5 inch circle punch, and I have just cut out a circle from this paper. I think it's so cute. I've had this over here drying a little bit, and I am just going to place that right on front. I'm going to keep that on there for just a second while we get our glue on here. And this will be great. I could put it in a little baggie or something and keep in my purse as I run into friends, and just give them something hopefully to just brighten their day. We'll let that dry. And I'm telling you, once you get these little dimensions in place and you've got your papers picked out and everything, it is easy to crank out several of these and just have them. It's a great thing to work on, and just use up your scraps. If you've got some paper or something that you really like but you don't have an idea, make some of these matchbooks. They will be great. So here is the start to my matchbook notebooks that I will be handing out to friends as I come upon them, and just to hopefully to brighten up their day with a few little crafts. So get your scraps out, and this is a great little project to work on.